Time now for our Sunrise Smart Start. A man has been sent to the hospital after a stabbing on Lehigh Avenue in Rochester. Police responded around midnight. They say the man was delivering food at the time when he was stabbed in the upper body. He has serious but non-life-threatening injuries. No suspects are in custody. If you have any information about this stabbing, you're asked to call 911. Rochester police are also investigating a rollover crash on East Avenue. Officers responded around 2:30 this morning to find that car flipped onto its roof. Police say everyone did make it out safely. Officers tell us the driver of that car ran a red light and struck another vehicle. An investigation continues after a body was found in the Genesee River. According to police, the body of an unidentified man was found near the Driving Park Bridge in Rochester around 6 o'clock last night. For more on this story as it develops, head to rochesterfirst.com. One man was sent to the hospital after a shooting on Driving Park Avenue in Rochester last night. Officials were called around 9:30 for the report of a person who'd been shot. When they got there, they found a 36-year-old man with a gunshot wound to the lower body. His injuries, the status unknown at this time. If you have any information about this shooting, you're asked to call 911. Well, the White House says evacuations in Afghanistan are beginning to pick up. According to the Biden administration, the U.S. evacuated 3,000 people from the airport in Kabul yesterday, including 350 American citizens. Joined this morning by Washington correspondent Raquel Martin, live in D.C. Raquel, good morning. What issues are the Taliban creating for these evacuation efforts?
Good morning. Well, we know that the Pentagon said they wanted to evacuate between 5,000 and 9,000 people per day, but they're definitely falling short of that goal. And part of the reason is we're hearing reports that the Taliban is actually creating curfews and checkpoints and blockading people's access to the airport. So right now it looks like we know the administration is trying to negotiate with the Taliban to ensure safe access. They said right now there has been no hostile action from the Taliban, so they are keeping military at the airport, but at this point we know that they're trying to figure out a clearer path forward. We know that they're partnering with our G7 allies to try and get that message across to the Taliban each day.
And the key question here, Raquel, how does the White House plan to expedite these evacuations?
Well, we know yesterday the State Department said they would be sending more personnel to try and process visas, because part of the problem, we see all that chaos around the airport. Those are people who haven't got their visas approved, that they're in the middle of trying to get access to immigration to actually evacuate. So that could probably fix the bottleneck that we're seeing all around this evacuation process. So that's one thing. And of course, we are going to have more military troops at the airport soon. As of yesterday, it was about 5,000. We know at the end of the day, they want 6,000 troops at the airport. So potentially with more help, we might see these evacuations pick up. But ultimately, it will take the cooperation of the Taliban to see this entire operation through.
A tense situation continuing there. Raquel, thank you. President Biden will address the situation in Afghanistan in a speech from the White House that is set for this afternoon. Elsewhere, one man is in custody after driving his truck onto the sidewalk in D.C. and telling officers he had a bomb inside. Surrounding areas did go into a lockdown. Buildings were evacuated. Capitol Police identifying the suspect as 49-year-old Floyd Roseberry of North Carolina. He did surrender after a 5-hour standoff. Capitol Police say no bomb was found, but possible bomb-making materials were collected from the vehicle. Hurricane Grace is causing massive damage in the Gulf of Mexico. That storm making landfall in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula with heavy rain and 75-mile-per-hour winds yesterday. The Category 1 hurricane is expected to weaken as it makes its way westward. Here in New York, cleanup efforts continuing in parts of the southern tier after that record flooding this week. The governor declaring a state of emergency in Steuben County after flash flooding damaged over 100 homes and displaced residents as well. Multiple businesses were also destroyed in Addison. And we saw those images. Hard to forget, James. It's been a tough week for those folks there. But we've got a pretty nice Friday on tap.
Yeah, for sure. If we're still picking up the pieces, we definitely have a decent day to do it. Nice to see that there's no extra rain in the forecast, at least for today. Maybe going on a little jog this morning. Temperature starting off right around 70 degrees. Watch out for some patchy fog to start off this day. It is muggy and it will remain humid for much of not only the weekend, but even into next week. Otherwise, though, a pretty decent looking weekend forecast. There's your numbers, getting up into the mid-80s both Saturday and Sunday with showers and thunderstorms going to be possible. We'll have a last look at the commute forecast on this Friday at the end of the show. Mark?
All right, James, thank you. And another check of the roads with our sunrise traffic now. We mentioned it earlier, an accident in Rochester on Fulton Avenue at Locust Street. The good news, the main arteries are moving along nicely. 390, 490, and 590 are up to speed. Well, the Puerto Rican Festival will hold its second and final weekend this weekend with food and local groups all set to perform. Carmela Boykin live this morning with a look at what the festival's president is most looking forward to. Carmela, good morning.
Good morning, Mark. This year was almost the second year without the Puerto Rican Festival, but during a relaxed COVID guideline period this summer, it was pulled together as a two-weekend event. The festival began in 1969 and is the largest, longest-running cultural festival in Monroe County. Puerto Rican Festival President Orlando Ortiz says the first weekend was like a family reunion.
To know that we didn't really lose the true essence of what the Puerto Rican Festival is was great to see. In terms of, people going and enjoying, the kids running around and dancing and people just kind of rekindling some of those relationships.
And even though it's a Puerto Rican festival, Ortiz says it's for all Latin American cultures to come together and for everyone, regardless of cultural background, to enjoy. Reporting in Rochester, Carmela Boykin, News 8. Mark?
Carmela, thank you. A true celebration in Rochester. It is for free. This event, it goes tomorrow from 2 until 10 o'clock at Parcel 5. Local climate activists are coming up with alternative solutions to combat climate change. A rally was held yesterday in Rochester, organized by a number of ecologically focused groups. Organizers say the goal is to advocate for the passage of a $3.5 trillion federal budget that would invest in climate solutions and jobs.
Investments will definitely help, but the most important thing is that we're stop pushing money into the fossil fuel industry, because the IPCC report made it really clear humans are the cause of climate change, and burning of fossil fuels is behind that.
We are told yesterday's demonstration is one of 8 that are planned across New York State. To our Family First segment this morning, so many are heading back to the office full time. You might notice you're not as active. Doctors say keep finding ways to move at work and work on your mental health as well. Experts adding you may want to consider buying an underdesk cycle. Other suggestions: take the stairs, walk throughout the day, and buy a standing desk. Dr. Sandra Darling recommends standing at least 10 minutes every hour.
When we're sitting long hours and being sedentary, it can increase fatigue. And so getting the physical activity will increase energy, but it also boosts your mood. So when we get our heart rate up, that releases those endorphins, those feel-good chemicals. And that will help to reduce symptoms of anxiety, stress, and depression, and can help you to sleep better.
Well, when it comes to a healthy diet, she adds, make sure you plan ahead and pack snacks like fruits, vegetables, lean protein, nuts, and seeds. She says it's equally important to make sure you and your family are focusing on mental health. Schedule time to relax and meditate. And if you're having a tough time balancing everything, talk to a medical professional. All right, time now to go inside the huddle this morning. The Bills getting ready for tomorrow's second preseason game against the Chicago Bears. Head coach Sean McDermott says quarterback Josh Allen will not play once again this week, along with most of the starters. McDermott says the new, shorter preseason has changed the way he looks at players who are attempting to make the Week 1 roster. Some players say they're just thankful for the opportunity.
I came in this league undrafted, so, I'm always going to have that chip on my shoulder no matter where I go, no matter what year I am. And it's just awesome because, those guys make me better every day to compete and get better at my craft. And, I learned some things from those guys, and I've been in the year longer than they have.
Well, teams have until next Tuesday to get down to 80 players and then settle on a 53-man roster by the following Tuesday as the season quickly approaches. News 8's got you covered for the game this weekend. Tune in at noon with a full hour of Buffalo Kickoff Live with Thad Brown and the crew getting you ready for the action. The game starts at 1 o'clock at Soldier Field in Chicago. Then after the game, it's Buffalo Postgame Live as we bring you insight and postgame reaction from the team. All right, James, looking forward to a nice Friday weather-wise, although the muggy factor is still out there. Folks need to know that.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a little sticky for the start on this Friday, and as well a little bit of patchy fog to start out with, so watch out for that. Temperature starting right around 70 degrees. No chance for rain to start the day, but we'll watch a couple of isolated showers and storms to move through this afternoon. Hey, I'm looking forward to it. We've got a great Friday for you, and I think the weekend overall looking pretty good as well. It's still going to be warm, still going to be muggy out there, and Sunday, really, with that tropical storm, soon to be hurricane, likely heading for Boston. It's going to put clouds in the sky. It's going to be mostly cloudy, but otherwise looks like we avoid the rain for the most part.
All right, James, thank you. That's it for us for now. Thank you for tuning in to News 8 at Sunrise. Our next update coming up in 30 minutes. CBS This Morning is up next. Have a great day.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.